Yeah.
Welcome to the Blaize interview. My name is Blaize, and this is...
My name is Ryan Radusinovic.
And thank you for joining us, Ryan. So how'd you get into comedy?
Oh man, I got into comedy because I just loved stand-up comedy. I loved improv, and I loved making people laugh. I knew I had like a knack for making people laugh, so I went to my first stand-up comedy show, which was the Power 106 Comedy Fiesta. It had like Cat Williams, Russell Peters, Bobby Lee, Pablo Francisco, Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh my God.
That was my first show, and I was just so blown away at the power that these comedians had over the crowd. And I knew I was funny, but I didn't know I could do stand-up because I'd only ever done like theater stuff.
Yeah.
So I went on Craigslist and I was like, stand-up comedians. I went to classifieds and to the talent subheading. And I found a show, and they were like, if you could bring 5 people, we'll put you on.
Okay.
And
Where was it at?
It was at what was the Ramada Inn in Hollywood.
Okay.
It's now the Hollywood Hotel.
Yeah, okay.
It was in the basement where they do the open mic sometimes. So my first show ever was there, and I brought like 10 people.
Nice.
So the promoter liked me, and of course, in my mind, I crushed because I had all my friends there just telling the
How
same
bad was
stories.
it?
I think I did good, because the people that were in there for the other comics were bombing hard, and they stayed for my performance. And I did some crowd work. I clowned on some Australian people in the audience.
Nice.
I did my little impersonations. That's all I really knew how to do at the time.
Did you take classes beforehand?
Like stand-up classes?
Or like improv or acting?
Yeah, I had taken improv classes. I've been in like the improv club in college. I did the Groundlings program.
Oh, a lot of comics have done that.
Yeah, and that helped to some degree, but really the best teacher in stand-up is just going up there and doing it. I can't slice it any other way.
I was asked comics this question is, what do you feel when you're bombing? Like, how does it feel to bomb?
Ooh,
your eyes.
Feels like dying, man. That feeling of bombing is like nobody, like you're a crazy person. Like these thoughts that you had that you wrote down that you thought were hilarious, are just the ramblings of a lunatic. Like I hate that. I hate that feeling of going up there and thinking like, ooh, this is fire, and then just like,
you're going up there with all that energy and all these expectations.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh, this joke hit in the shower. It's crushed on the drive here.
But, like, I know for me, like, I always, like, is when you sweat, it's the worst. So when you're up there and you start bombing it and then you start sweating. Ooh.
The sweating. I used to get that in the beginning and early in my comedy career. Boy, I'd be up there sweating my ass off. I'd get off the stage and I'd just be covered in sweat. I'd be pouring, and it was because a lot of jokes weren't landing. And I was bombing, and it was just... It was a tough process.
Do you feel like when you bomb, do you just stick with your jokes, with your set, or do you try and like say, okay, that bombed, all right, let's try and switch it up to a different topic, or do you feel like you... Because some comics, the thing I hate most is when comics attack the crowd when they're bombing.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't make it their fault that you're bombing. You should joke on yourself, like, just kind of, well, I thought that was going to be way funnier. Haha, they laugh, release a little tension, and then you just go to your next joke. It's not their fault you're bombing. It's your fault. The structure of your joke. It's like, the bombing feeling is the worst, but I tinker with the jokes constantly. Like, if it goes up, it doesn't go good, but I really believe there's something funny about it, I'll go try it a different way, and I'll keep trying it, and then maybe I'll shelf it, and then I'll be driving in my car, and I'll have that moment like, that's the line. That's the way you tell the joke. Or I'll tell the joke in the backwards order. I'll tell it, and sometimes it's like, I'm just presenting this information in the wrong order.
Oh, okay. So how do you structure your writing process? Like, is it just like you write something down, or is it like you have a premise and then you just go up there, or you just wing it? Or...
I talk into my phone. I use the voice notes, or I use like voice to text, and I'll be just talking into my phone, just kind of getting it all out there about a certain topic or a premise. And then I'll go on stage and try to see what's funny about it, and then I'll refine it. I'll slowly start trimming the fat and trying to make it as lean as possible so I can tell the joke and get to the punchline in as few words as possible. That's what I feel like. Brevity is like an important part, like trying to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, because some people, it's a good joke, but it's just too long.
Too much setup. Yeah.
Where do you, what do you find, like, cut the fat out? Like, how do you cut the fat? Just going out there and just, like, taking this part off and putting this part in instead, or just, like, taking this
sometimes people don't need all the details. They just need the basic details to get through the story. You don't need to talk about what color shoes you were wearing that day, unless it pays off at the end. You know, it's those details, because as writers, we want to like provide a lot of detail and show people how smart we are, and you know, how creative we are, and great at describing things. And sometimes if that description doesn't move the story forward, and it doesn't lead to like the payoff, which is the punch, then it doesn't really need to be there. You know, so I have some stories that are a little long-winded that I'm trimming down right now. But a good way to do that is to write out your story one line at a time. Just put that one line on a piece of paper, and then try to find all the funny things within that first line. Flip to the next page, you know, second line of your story. Try to tag it up, and then do that until you get to the end of your story, and you'll have like a 5-minute story joke. Full of punchlines, you know, and that someone else taught me that, and it's helped me tremendously.
So that's one, like, I was just about to ask, like, what is your, like, the best advice you've ever received as a comic?
Ooh, best advice I've received as a comic. Russell Peters told me, just stay consistent. Just get up there every day.
Every day.
Just get up as often as you can. Just keep, and you'll figure it all out. And truer words never spoken, man, because really I had more ups and downs, like when I was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, than I had, you know, when I've just been like, it's been like this nice steady climb since I've been consistent. There hasn't been these like peaks and valleys as much.
I feel that, yeah, because comedy is one of the only art forms where they see you struggle, where people see you at the bottom climbing your way up. Like, you know, musicians, rappers, you know, you painters, you know, they climb the mountaintop by themselves, and then when they come back down, they give you the gold product. You know, where it's we gotta go out there and just fucking grind your teeth out. Fucking everyone sees you fuck up all the time, you fuck up in front of people. I mean, like, as if you're a rapper and you put out a weak track, like, you don't have to release that weak track.
Yeah, that's
you can
true.
refix it and retool it and do this, or just scrap it all together. Like, you know, one of the things that I've that's hard to do in comedy, I feel like, is killing your own babies.
Oh, totally, yeah. That's what you do. You put out this thing that you love, that you made, and then you're like, man, screw this joke. I hate this joke. I can't believe you people laugh at this joke. I've done that. I've killed like a couple of my best jokes. I'm just done with them.
Why? Just because
I can't look at them. I can't listen to them anymore. Because it's so easy. It becomes like, man, they're laughing at this. Really? You guys are laughing at that? That's dumb. Like, it's not a challenge anymore.
Well, what makes it not a challenge? Like, what about these jokes do you feel like don't make it fun for you anymore?
It's just maybe like you moved on to a different period in your life where like I'm maturing as a comedian and as a man.
Okay.
To where like some jokes that are like, they would be more apropos if I was in my early 20s or maybe late 20s, and now I'm in my mid 30s. So I'm like, well, I want to like kind of segue away from that party boy image and be more of a mature, you know, adult when I'm on stage.
Okay.
But I still like to have a good time. I just don't know if I could do some of this material because it represents me as like this wild and crazy frat boy kind of dude, and I'm more than that, you know.
I get that. You want your comedy and to evolve with you, with your life.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to be like Dave Chappelle and George,
of course,
and just go out there and just be like philosophers, like modern day. What's his name? Socrates.
Hell yeah.
Just go up there and just spewing up facts. I mean, you saw the Dave Chappelle SNL monologue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty funny. Like the way he kept repeating, like he would repeat things and like cut things out, and like how he was like subtly say, like the ones his best joke was the last one. He's like, they all get mad, and that's such a layered joke.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, that's like he's coming after like 40 different people with that one time, with that one word. He's going after 40 different people.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and that's what I'm striving for now. I'm trying to, instead of writing for the funny stuff I know that's gonna work, I'm just gonna write for the point that I'm trying to make and the perspective I'm trying to give. Which that was also some good advice Carlos Mencia gave me. He's like, when you get older, it becomes about perspective. And that was like, I was like, wow, that's right. Because I went up there and I did my like jokey jokes, and his crowd, they were laughing, but I wasn't getting the response that I'm used to because they want what he offers, which is he goes up there and talks about life and family and raising kids and, you know, getting older, and he gives all this life perspective. And they love him for that, you know. And I think as we evolve as comics, we have to give our perspective more than just trying to hit hit funny jokes. But there's a place for that too, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's a place. You have to be able to write quick, fast jokes in order to even just get to the level to where you can give your
no, people
philosophy.
give you the leeway. They'll give you the runway. Because if you're not funny enough, if you're not funny right away, and you have this huge monologue and it has a great ending, halfway through, the audience is like, eh.
Yeah, they tuned out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get so good at the short and sweet jokes that you start building into like medium-sized bits, then to longer bits, and then you can do something like Dave Chappelle, where he can do an entire set and that's just like one giant cohesive piece. It's not just a bunch of bits. It's like an essay or something, you know.
Yes.
It's something like a.
Even a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's like a song or something. Yeah.
I was one thing that I've taken away is like I think of my sets as if it's an album, like if like Damn, if Kendrick Lamar Damn album, if you've heard of it, how like the whole thing is written like through religion, through the Bible, and this and that, and then you also have like comedy. I used to always the Def Jam comedy.
Def Jam.
I used to love Def Jam. Then the blue was it the blue I'm really blanking right now. Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Oh yeah,
I loved that. One of my first favorite comics was Dane Cook, and it was the one in the Madison Square Garden.
Was that Vicious Circle or something?
Something like
where he's in the round.
He's in the circle.
Yeah,
that one was one of my first favorite like comedy albums, and I would think of like every time I do an album, I'll think about like reading the back of an album and like seeing how it flows, and like that's how I kind of want to make my sets kind of flow.
They should. Your set list should flow, and like one joke. Sometimes you'll find that two jokes are like interlocking pieces. Like it's so easy to transition from talking about like a DUI for me to talking about weed, because I'm like, well, you shouldn't drink and drive. You should smoke weed and fly. And then talk about how weed is getting stronger and crazier.
Yeah.
So some bits they form interlocking pieces.
Yeah.
And then your set can become that.
Yeah.
But then if you do this stuff in the same order all the time, I feel like you start to get tired of it faster. So it's nice to like slide a new joke in here and there in a certain piece, or to expand on a joke, and before because if you start doing it over and over and over again in the same exact order, it starts feeling like an act.
Yeah.
You're no longer like there isn't the same space that you give yourself for improvisation. You don't want to make it like every day I say the same shit.
Well, yes and no, but you also want to get to the point where if you're touring, then you're doing the same act for like 3 months because you're doing it in different cities.
Doing your album,
you know what I mean? And you're doing, or even if you're opening for somebody, you know what I mean? You can do like little jokes here and there, but most of the time, I feel like if you're really like at the end of the time, you want to just make it one set, because even Don Rickles, after he passed away, I spent a whole bunch of hours going through every single one of his interviews. Half of his interviews are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he has the same like jokes. He's like, you want a cookie? And stuff like that. He talks about his wife and all the jewelry. Yeah. So it's like he had the same act for 50 fucking years.
Yeah, but I don't know. As a comic, do you want to be that type of comic? Or do you want to be like a comic who pushes himself to write a new hour every year?
That's the difference, though, right?
That's like a Louis C.K. style. Like, I mean, doesn't have... I don't know if it's going to be the best hour every year, but I feel like just... You got to keep pushing yourself to find those amazing freaking jokes, those calling card jokes, and the more of those you could stack, it's like your hit single if you're a musician, and if you could, at the end of your career, if you end up going on stage and playing an anthology of all of your hit singles, man, that concert's gonna cost people $500 a ticket.
Yeah, look at Elton John.
More valuable, yeah. So no, the B-sides, they're great. All the little unheard of tracks, or the tracks that kind of didn't make it to the radio, they're all cool and fine and dandy. But I think we all want to strive to have these home runs, these grand slam, hit single jokes, so that at the end of our career we can do a tour and just be loved for every phase of our career. Like, oh, that was that joke that Ryan told when he was in his late 20s. Oh, that's the one from his mid-30s. That's the one from when he first made a family, and in his late 30s or whatever.
That made me think of just, on top is Jeff Foxworthy. There's, you might be a redneck if And he just goes every city to city. Just you might be redneck,
Doing
and that's
that, yeah.
just every city every night, and he makes millions of dollars doing that.
He does, yeah. He's doing his shtick. So is Larry the Cable Guy. He's not actually even from the South. He's from New York.
Yeah, he's not
What
even a
the
cable
hell?
guy.
Yeah, he's not even a cable
But
guy.
I mean, he but he's honest about it. He's like,
Yeah,
he's honest about it. It's like this is personality. Like even when he's not talking in his like southern voice and he stops talking, it's like, who the fuck is that dude? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this thing is like, what's his name? Jeselnik.
Yeah, Jeselnik.
Jeselnik. I mean, he plays like this huge asshole, and he's this huge douchebag. But then when you meet him, he's a really good guy in person, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay, I haven't met him yet, but yeah, I imagine so. Sometimes you think a person's persona is something else, and then you meet him, and you're like, oh, they're cool, they're just like me.
Yeah.
I thought Chris D'Elia was going to be a big douche. Nah, he ended up being cool. Because his act, you're like, oh, this guy for sure is going to be a dick. He's going to roast me. He's going to fucking clown me. And now I end up being nice.
I mean, most people are nice people. I mean, there's a few people who are dicks and assholes, and we ain't got to talk about those folks. No bad juju. No bad juju.
We don't need bad karma.
No, but like, yeah, so like you're talking about like what kind of things do you go towards like structuring your comedy now, like your act? How do you, moving forward as you grow and you age, how is your comedy maturing with you?
Well, it starts to become about like the things you experience versus like sometimes I'll write stuff that I know is going to be funny, but instead of writing something that's real. So I'm going now more for like reality-based stuff than fantasy-based jokes. Because I feel like my old act, it felt like that. It's an act. It's like a guy acting out comedy instead of like giving some, like really scraping my soul and giving you my life experience and how I feel about something. I kind of was disconnected from my material because it's wordplay. It's stuff that's like silly. And now I'm trying to talk about things that are real to me and my life as I get older and experience new things. So I think that going forward, I'm going to be giving a lot more TED Talks on stage. TED Talks with laughs.
Hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, what are some things that you like stopped talking about, or you switched from talking about like younger?
I think like the nasty sex stories, like I had plenty of gnarly sex stories that are just like gross out humor.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like a gross comic into this, into my 40s. That's gonna be weird. I'm up there talking about, rusty trombones and fucking donkey punches.
I mean, there's places like if you go to Accidental Chaos, which I call the frat house of comedy.
Yeah, no, you
could definitely do that there.
The craziest shit on stage ever at Accidental Chaos. If you catch my sets there, you're in for a treat.
I bet.
If you catch me anywhere else, I'm just doing regular stand-up. I'll let it fly at that place.
Oh, I love Accidental.
Me too.
It's an endearing term. I don't talk about it. It's like it is what it is. It's the frat house of comedy. You go out there and you're just like, I assume someone's gonna be like belly flopping from the second story or some shit.
Someone has.
I know.
I've heard the story.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't there when it happened. I just heard. I was like, that's not surprising.
No.
I just hope the motherfucker got some good insurance.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But when we all started in comedy, who are we mold ourselves. We like, we try and replicate.
Replicate.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Replicate like other artists. So like who were artists that you like picked and choose from, who you want to emulate and who you wanted to like think that when you're on stage you want to be like that person?
Oh, for sure, it's Pablo Francisco. Like when I started, I just wanted to do impersonations, and that's all I had. I didn't have like an act. I didn't have too much. I just could do I still can do a bunch of voices, which is another thing I've kind of like transitioned away from, but it's
you didn't want to be one of those guys.
It's so strong that I have to use it once in a while. Like I have to use that muscle just to keep it. Yeah. But I love Pablo Francisco, and the messed up thing is I got to perform on the same lineup as him. And when I got on stage, I crushed. I did a bunch of voices. I probably did like 10 impersonations, and I did jokes. I did crowd work. Nice. I did everything. Fucking killed it. He was taking a shit the whole time. He's like, "How was your set, kid?" I was like, "Oh, it was great." Did you? He's like, "I was in the bathroom." Oh, damn you!
Damn, you're a hero. You're a legend. And he's like,
if you would have saw me, you'd have been like, "You kid, you're on the road with me. I'm taking you with me." But aside from him, I really loved Dave Chappelle, and I liked Fluffy, and I loved Russell Peters. And those were the guys I modeled myself after. I was just trying to do some humor that was similar to theirs. And then after like a few years, I kind of took like a little like 6-month break or 8 months off. I wrote probably a page of comedy every day.
Nice.
I came back. I did really well with the crowd work. I started like getting good at crowd work, and then I humbled myself and I'm like, I'm gonna take a joke writing class. So I went to Flappers University and I signed up and I did all of their classes, and that taught me structure. And that gave me a lot of opportunities. And I'd be at Flappers all the time, and they booked me on the main room Saturday nights.
Nice.
They gave me so many good opportunities and helped me grow as a comic. I can't thank them enough. And after that, it's just been kind of like a straight shot up. Like,
nice.
I needed that. I needed the structure. I needed to take those classes. Because at the beginning, you're just guessing. Like, you're trying to like reverse engineer what you think makes a good comic. But sometimes you need to like sit down with other people who can show you exactly what these good comics are doing. And then you recognize these techniques and you're like, oh, that fits into this. That's this type of joke. You learn the categories of jokes. You learn the way that people present jokes. I mean, I'd learned a lot of that from books, from joke writing books, or from comedians' autobiographies. But getting in class every day and analyzing it, and then doing jokes every single day in class, and then having everyone critique you and break down your joke and help punch it up, man, that helped me so much. That just that hit a switch for me. And it's just been all uphill from there. And of course, I took like a 2.5-year break. I went to law school. I screwed around. I dropped out. I was really sad and depressed. And my friends were like, man, the thing that made you happiest was stand-up comedy. You got to get back on the stage. And that was 3 years ago, and I've been just going balls to the wall hard ever since.
When you write a joke, like, what's the one thing that you would tell new comics starting up, the best way to structure a joke? Like, how would you, if you want to say the one thing, or what is a series of things?
How did that thing make you feel?
How did it make you feel?
How did it make you feel? How did the situation that you're writing about, or this premise, what emotion does it bring out of you? Because, like, jokes are best when they pull a strong emotion out of you. Like, you know, man, that trip to 7-Eleven was so scary. It was so boring. It has to be something like strong to attach. You need an emotional attachment to every joke. It has to make you feel some kind of way in order to then convey that to the crowd, and then you're going to exaggerate it. You know, you're going to add some window dressing essentially to make it like it's the craziest thing you've ever experienced.
Yeah.
How was it?
How does it make you feel? That's a great line. How does it make you feel? There's like because when you said that, the first person I thought of was Bernie Mac. Like, just the way he would go up there, he would say a line, and then it would be funny, and it's like, no, I know it's crazy what I'm saying, but hear me out.
Yeah.
And then he explains why does it make him feel that way. It's like I'm rewatching the Bernie Mac show, and he's like, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids. It was like, now love them kids. You know what I'm saying? Well, fuck them kids. It's like, it's just like he's going through the process of like why he hates them kids, but he still loves them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, as a family member, as anyone, like, you can relate to what he's saying and how he's saying it, but it's his emotion, the way he's saying it, is like, because he's making you feel what he's feeling. There's this anger, and it's like, ugh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because the way he's like, ugh.
That's what you need, because like if I tell you I hate something, that's a much more powerful statement than I just didn't like it. Yeah. It wasn't good. Yeah. Now I want to hear you fucking hated it, and this is why I hated it. I hated it because it was the dumbest thing I ever heard. It made me feel like a total idiot. You want this powerful emotions on stage. You don't want it to be like kind of in the middle. You definitely, and you want to pull that out of people. And I think a good way of doing that is I like to do crowd work. So I'll ask the question to kind of intro this premise sometimes, and I'll be like, don't you hate, when you got to babysit your sister's kids, and they are so misbehaved, but you can't beat their ass? You got to come up with other types of weird punishments for them, and they just don't respect you. Like, it's that, and they'll look at you and be like, yeah, I hate that too. And I'm like, all right, we got the connection. Now let's launch the joke. Yeah. And then I keep my eye contact with them until I hit the punchline, and then they laugh, and then I unplug, and then I go find another person, introduce the topic, talk to them individually. I hit them with the death stare, and then they're laughing, they're engaged. Punchline, reset, find the new victim. Stand eye contact, deliver, punch.
Wow. Okay.
Reset.
I never thought of doing a set like
this
that
is
before.
a fucking great technique that I learned from a really good comic named Greg Wilson. He's super funny, and he's like, don't be afraid of the silence. Where should you put your eyes? Put your eyes on one person. Like, look around, intro the thing, then find the person that's engaged, and then hit him with the joke.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, me especially, I feel like I'm just scanning the room. I feel like a lot of times
we do that.
We just scan the room. We're just like talking here, not really making contact with anybody. And I feel like that would be a great technique for me to like instill into my own skill, into my own writing ability.
You should.
Just like to reach out to somebody.
Reach out.
And even if you spend because I even talked to someone about this, is like if you just sit there and you just have the whole 5 minutes and you're just talking to that one person the whole time, everyone else is gonna think it's funny too.
Yeah, the crowd does this.
They
all
just
kind of like
focus.
They're looking at that person because they don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, if they laugh, then it gives everyone license to laugh.
Yeah.
So it's a good technique, and I highly recommend learning the death stare, especially if there's someone like this, like, I ain't got my arms crossed. I'm like, well, hello there. Let's break you.
Let's break you.
Let's see what you're about. Like, let's talk. I'm sure we've got common ground. You're doing this, but I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, I mean, crowd work's so hard and scary for a lot of comics because one of the phrases is you're giving them the knife. You're giving them the gun. They could shoot you or they could stab you. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to give them the knife, but take it back and stab them back.
Yeah, or you got to be able to just read them, and because sometimes they want to give you these answers that are just trying to derail you. So you got to just hit them fast and just bounce to the next person.
Yeah.
Some people would just hammer on them, but I don't want anyone to ever feel super uncomfortable where they're going to stand up and leave.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just try to just jab them and then move to the next guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them derail my freaking set. No
yeah.
way.
I've only seen people storm off one time, and it was after the Uvalde, Texas shooting.
Oh.
And some dude was trying to do a whole bunch of school shooting jokes. And we were like, ooh, bro, we don't know about this. He was like, well, buckle up, everyone. This is going to be a whole 5 minutes. And everyone's just like, ooh.
Cringe.
Yeah, it's just kind of, with comedy, you got to sometimes go out on that ledge. You got to, human tragedy.
Yeah, I've done jokes on stuff like that on the Stampede at the Travis Scott concert. I did a joke, but it hit, though, because it was a play on the song Highest in the Room. Those are the survivors. They were the highest in the room.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's really
I haven't done that because it's topical jokes.
Yeah.
Like, they come and they go. If it's like on everyone's mind at the time, then it hits harder. But sometimes they kind of just dwindle and fade because it's no longer like.
I have one joke that's like topical,
irrelevant.
but it's kind of like I try and twist it into like cultural relevance because it's
That's
about
more important because it lasts longer.
So that's what I've been trying to do. Is with that one is about Shakira, about her getting locked up for IRS, about you know what I mean, for taxes. But I make it because it wasn't L.A., it wasn't New York, it was Spain. So it's the Spanish gone colonized the Colombians again, extracting resources.
Yeah, that's right.
But shit like that, like I want to, that's topical because it happened, this year, and it happened like a few months, but no one remembers it. So it's like it brings up into the lexicons, like she got locked up, and then just like trying to twist it back into that whole the Spanish and Latins.
Taking back stuff that didn't belong to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because you make it something it doesn't require the prior knowledge.
Yeah.
It's just because the joke doesn't depend on you, knowing about her
legal problems.
Yeah. Because that's always a better way to enhance a joke.
Try and because like you said, it's that you don't need the whole build up. It's just she got locked up. This is what it's for, and then boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very, very choo boom. It's like, and that it took me a while to figure that joke out because at the beginning I was trying to prolong it, but then it's just like, just take that out. Just take that out.
Yeah, the way you explained it to me is funny. Like, you're totally ready for the stage.
Yes. Yeah, and then, obviously when you're on stage, you just got to buffer. Like, that joke is one of those things, like, has to have a little bit of pause.
Oh, totally.
You know, because I've learned, Bobby Oliver, she has that book, Embrace the Pause. I haven't read it yet, but it's on the Christmas.
But I read the title.
I
was like, that's all I need to know.
That's all I need to know. I got it. But yeah, stuff like that. It's like it's being comfortable in that silence, and I feel like a lot of young comics aren't comfortable in that. Like, how do you overcome that? And, like, when do you know what is good silence, what is bad silence?
Oh, yeah, Greg Wilson, not to shout him out again, but his book, he's got a chapter on it, Embrace the Silence. So that means you got their attention. It's when they start talking, and you're doing stand-up, that's when you don't. That's when you're losing them. But, like, I'll tell the story about the time my grandpa ate a mushroom chocolate bar and fucking just whoop, it's quiet. You could hear a pin drop. I have their total attention. And you want that when you're talking. But as far as, like, the laughters and the silence... I think it comes in like waves. So what you want to do is like, the laughs like build, after your punch, and then as they start coming down, then you start your next joke. Some people like to reset all the way back to 0 and then do the joke, but I like it right when it's like it's already crested, it's starting to come down, and I start the next joke and keep that going.
Yeah.
And if it's really great, just let them laugh it out. Hit your leg with the mic. Laugh with them. Whatever. Let them laugh it out. Let that joke breathe. Let it, let them laugh it all. And then when it's dying down, then start the next one.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard because, when you're starting out, a lot of folks don't know how to read a room. Like what are like, especially here in LA, there's so many different rooms. Like the Hollywood comedy is so much different than if you did a show in like Long Beach or if you did a show in Palmdale or Lancaster.
Oh,
like,
totally.
What are the different types of rooms here in LA that you found, like doing different mics and different shows?
I mean, every room is different. Really, it's different expectations from the fans, and it's a different. Some rooms are like diehard comedy nerds. Some rooms are people who have never been to a comedy show. So, and some are in between, and some rooms are where people want to hear some extreme shit. So, you've got to read the room, see what the demographic is, the average age of the person in the audience. Like, I feel uncomfortable doing nasty sex jokes in front of people my mom's age. It makes me feel weird, so I can't do that stuff, and I can't curse in front of like really old people. Or if there's children in the audience, I'm not gonna say the F-bomb. I'm not going to say dick. I'm not going to say,
vagina.
P and a G. I'm not going to say none of that stuff. None of that. So it's really reading the room. And the best rooms for me in LA are definitely Accidental Chaos. Love that place. I'm performing for the first time at Hollywood Comedy in a couple of weeks. And where else do I really like in LA or in LA County?
Well, everywhere.
Everywhere. I love Ontario Improv, man. Those people are great. I always crush when I do Ontario Improv. I love that club. I also like the stand-up in Bellflower. I do great there. I murk that crowd every time. And where's my favorite low-key room to perform? Probably my own show at Strum Brewing. I always do great there.
Nice. Where's that show?
That's in Ontario, downtown Ontario, off Euclid at Strum Brewing Company. It's a brewery, tap room, and it's a great place. And I love doing comedy there. So catch me there once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's once a month. What day?
I'm going to be back. It's normally the second Saturday of every month. So we'll be there December 10th.
Okay, cool.
Doing it again. And I don't really have a favorite room per se, but
so many great places.
Those audiences are just what makes the show.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that audience to be so lit, and they were just vibing with everything. So you never really know. Like, I've done backyard shows that were way better than like a comedy club show. Just because everybody was cracking up and they were all into it.
Having a great time, the vibing. Sometimes even at the Hollywood Comedy, more for the open mics than like the shows. The shows are usually fun, but the open mics, the thing I hate about their open
tough.
There's this cold room, man.
It's
a cold. Like the thing is, I'm sad about is Pasadena Comedy Club shutting down.
Oh right.
I always used to call it the Community College of Comedy.
It was. I was a teacher there.
At Pasadena?
Yeah, I worked at Pasadena for a minute, and I just one day I just didn't want to. I don't know. I just was over it.
What the fuck were you teaching?
I wasn't teaching. I was the host all the time. I was hosting.
Okay.
And it was just the money. I wasn't making any money, and it wasn't.
It's not like you.
And not even gas money. Sometimes I'd be like, man, there's nobody signed up on my list. And then some days when I'm like, I could go up in there hungover, ain't nobody gonna sign up. There'll be like 10 people. I'm like, fuck, and then they'll be dicks to me.
Yeah,
like
some
the
people
comics will be dicks.
For no reason.
Man, fuck you guys. I'm here on my own volition, getting paid like $2 an hour to host for you guys, and you want to be dicks? Like, screw you guys. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to lock myself in the fucking closet and sleep.
I hate people who are on the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
I called one dude out.
Man, I don't mind it. But yeah, it is, some people are just in their heads, they're in their notes. But it's not good, though. You should set it down and just try to remember your damn jokes.
Yeah. Well, it depends on if it's open mic. I mean, some people just like chill out. It's an open mic. I hate people who's like, oh, you bomb an open mic. Bro, there's no such thing as bombing an open mic.
Such thing.
You can't bomb an open mic. It's like bombing an Abaka show.
Yeah, which I also enjoy. I love bombing a Baka show or crushing a Baka show. I go in there with good intentions every time, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but it is what it is. You got to look at it for what it is.
For me, the hardest thing though so far has been the roast battles.
Dude, roast battles I've just been terrible. The last 2 roast battles I have lost, and
I saw one of them, the one in November.
Good Lord.
I was there for that one.
That one was terrible. We both lost. I didn't even know that was a thing. My jokes weren't that bad, the audience wasn't fucking with me. Yeah. I think it's my delivery with the roast jokes.
I also think it's the time, because you were a little tired.
I was super tired.
Like you were up there like, I really want to be in bed.
Yeah, I was. I was coming off a crazy bender of a shift, and then I had to go to work after the roast battle.
What the fuck? What do you do?
I mean, I work doing like TV production stuff, and then I also deliver meals at nighttime. I deliver from the chef. I go do like a route around LA, dropping off meals, and so I worked all day, went to the show, had to come back, go to sleep, and then work again at 2 a.m. So I was beat. I was tired, and I wasn't feeling it. And, I don't know, roast battling, maybe it's just not for me. I've lost that, like, desire to like, hurt people on stage. I totally lost, like, if you'd have met me 3 years ago, I was mean at roasting. I won some roasting competitions, so I thought I was hot shit. I'm like, I got this roast battle thing, but sometime in between then and now, I've kind of, like, cooled off as a angry comic. I don't have that, like, malice. I don't have the desire to prove myself to my peers. My body of work speaks for itself. Like, my jokes, everything. I don't need to be like, I'm better than you. I'll roast the shit out of you. I'm not competitive anymore. I don't feel
like the roast battle scene out here in LA is that kind of volition. Like, I don't feel like any of the roasters are, like, really malice towards each other, in my opinion. Because I feel like, especially before it got canceled, the ha comedy, a lot of the jokes, like, it was definitely in the minor leagues of the hot roasting battles.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the jokes in there are half-baked. There's a lot of half-baked jokes. There's good premises.
My jokes were half-baked.
Everyone went in there with great premises, but the jokes were all half-baked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, I see where you're going with that, but the way you delivered it or something just wasn't right. Like, I know, like, even for me going up there, like, my premises were good. Like, the jokes were kind of alright, but the way I've set it up and the way, like, I just felt like it was all half-baked.
Yeah, man, my delivery was terrible, and I know when I'm bad, because I've written really good roast jokes before, and I've battled digits at the Supernova show, and all my jokes were roast jokes. They were good roast jokes. And when I won in Orange County, those were great roast jokes. I still have that video on YouTube. But just lately, I've just been writing them in my car. They haven't had that punch to them because I haven't sat down to write the jokes. I haven't been inspired, really. I'm like, I don't got to prove myself to anybody. Yeah. And especially, like, that roast panel? Who are you people?
Wow.
Like, literally, who are you? You guys are dissing me? It's hilarious. Because I see your social medias, I see your clips. Yeah, I ain't got no clicks. You got no views. The only person who can talk shit to me is J.R. Cruz because he's actually doing it. The rest of you, who? You're nobody. Well, you can't diss me. You can't tell me to quit comedy. Fuck out of here, dog. You got 200 fucking hits on your jokes on YouTube, on Instagram. Come on, please. We're not in the same league. You don't got a feature set. You don't got a headliner set. You want to talk shit to me. Fuck out of here, dude. That shit made me mad, and I just was laughing. I laugh every morning when I wake up and I go to my Instagram, and they're like, you've got 200 new likes on this one joke. I'm like, I should quit comedy. But I don't take it personal because really, like I said, I'm not competitive. We're not in the same league. I do something different when I perform, and they're still just like fighting to figure out who they are on stage. So
yeah, I get you.
And I don't like sweat it. It just gets me mad when someone tells me to quit comedy. Like, really, I would never tell that to anyone, no matter how bad they are. If they're fucking atrocious, I will walk up to them and be like, man, keep doing it, keep at it, dude. Just keep writing, keep grinding, keep blasting away, and you're going to get there. And I've done that to comics who I thought were just fucking awful, but it looked like they had that spirit inside them that they wanted to do good.
Yeah.
So I always give people like a helping hand or like a pat on the back and be like, yeah, keep at it, man. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Just keep writing and practicing every day. And I've seen it happen with certain comics. Like where I was like, God, this guy freaking sucks. But let's just be nice because this is a safe space. We're all comics. Let's be cool to each other. I don't want this guy coming back and fucking spraying us. So just be really fucking supportive, even if they're bad. And I think that's a better attitude to have than being some like jerk off fucking roast panel dickhead telling people to quit comedy. Like, are you out of your mind? I've been doing this fucking 10 years. Who the fuck are you?
I feel that. You remember, that's an emotion. Feel it.
Yeah.
Well, how did it make you feel, folks? How did it
make you feel? Dude? And I fucking make more money in comedy than you bitches.
It's fun. It's fun. Like everyone's like, how do you make money in comedy? It's like, you just gotta keep doing it.
You gotta keep doing it, dude, and just do shows that are out of the area and do shows, because
you're doing a lot of shows like everywhere. Like
I'm everywhere. I'm in freaking out Inland Empire. I'm in San Diego. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm in Sacramento. I'm in Bakersfield. I'm wherever.
Because that's the thing. A lot of LA comics, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that.
You want good roast jokes? Pay the roasters.
There
you go.
I'll pay the ones who win, because some of them...
Yeah, pay us to win, and I'll actually write jokes for your roast. For real, dude. It's costing me money to go there, to then get insulted? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. This is silly.
Hey, at least it's better than doing some of the other contests.
Yeah, exactly. Comedy contests, they're just bringer scams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bring 30 of your friends, and I'll give you $100. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a scam. Bringers are scams, but in the end of the day, every show is a bringer show. When you become this headliner killer that you want to become, you're going to have to pack the house.
Yeah.
You're going to have to justify your pay.
Yeah.
So you will have to start a mailing list, get your channel popping on YouTube, invite people out, send texts, call people, whatever it takes to sell those tickets.
It is hard because I'm right now, I'm starting out, so I'm kind of like, I'm really against going to bringers right now.
Yeah, don't go now because you'll burn out your friends and family. Start making fans first.
Yeah.
And then when you have fans, then you can bring them out. Then you have this big like index of people, and you're like, well, I know where this guy lives. I know where that guy lives. And just remember where they live so you can text them or like DM them. Hey, I'm in your town. Come out to Ontario Improv. Mm-hmm. I'm in Vegas. And just have your like Rolodex. Well, no one has a Rolodex anymore, but
you know what you mean.
Of people in every different area, and that will help you sell tickets, and it will help you develop friendships with fans, because you want that. You want a lifetime fan. You want to shake hands after the show, take pictures, be nice to everybody, because they'll remember you, and every time you're in town, they'll fuck with you.
Because I know a lot of comics, they'll just do a set and leave.
Don't do that, man. Be friends with all the fans.
Get Instagrams. Get Instagrams.
Know their first name. Like that's Jeff Garcia taught me that, and he's been my mentor now for like 3 years. He knows everybody's name. He goes to Phoenix. He's shaking hands. He remembers them. He remembers the wife's name. He remembers everybody's name, and it helps because it makes them feel like they're your friend. And that's what you want, even though you don't want them to like come back to your house with you. But
that's what it is, because like,
that's what you want. Because
when you're on stage, it's like I have this thought, like a lot of comics, when you're up there, you're talking to your group of friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, like, what I want to do, the vibe I want to set when I'm doing my set is like, I'm out here with my friends, we're all talking shit. And we're having a good time. We're like, hey, listen to this. Like, y'all remember this and stuff like that. And I feel like we want to connect with the crowd in that sense, though. Like, we're all friends. You know what I mean? We're laughing together as friends, because I feel like we always get the best laugh and the biggest laughs when we're with our friends.
Yeah.
And that's what comedy is. It's about being, with your friends sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. You want to be that funny friend in high school that they never had.
Yeah.
When the audience looks at you, they're like, man, you're like my cousin, dude. Or you're like that. You're like my friend that, went off to the Navy, who was always busting jokes. You want to be that guy for them, and they want to feel like they can approach you. And then if you're cool busting jokes after the show, then that's even better, because it shows that you're actually funny off stage too. So I'll do that when they're in line, like leaving. When we got the merch table, I'll be like, I got lighters for sale, air fresheners for $5 a month on OnlyFans. You can see my chest hair. I'm just saying silly shit. Just I'll autograph your baby. I'll just say random shit. And it makes them remember, like, oh, this guy is funny for real. Like, what's your Instagram again? Or like, oh, sure, I'll buy a lighter off you. And it just works, man.
Do you have merch?
I got merch. I got lighters. Right now, I'm gonna get shot glasses next.
Okay.
And those are good. You want to have something at every price point. I feel like get a $5 item, a $10 item, and a $20 item, like a T-shirt.
Okay.
Shot glasses for $10, and then just keep hustling them, man, because that's extra money in your pocket. And then especially with something like a lighter or a shot glass, people use it a lot, and then they associate your face or your name with good times. Like, oh, but the Blaize is blunt up. Yeah. Oh, that's Ryan, the comedian? I love that guy. So I think that's a good strategy.
How did you get into like marketing? Because I know a lot of comics, a lot of folks are like, they see it more as an expense. Like, oh, I can't afford that. Like,
yeah, you got to market yourself. Like, I worked for a marketing firm, as a production coordinator, so that kind of helped me. I see how advertising campaigns work, and it's a process of experimentation. You try some stuff, promotion. You try to make videos. Videos go farther than flyers. So if you got a cool show coming up that you're producing, that you got money invested in, to go ahead and make a hype video for it, because that's going to travel farther than your flyer. Like one of my first show I did in Downey, my first show I ever produced, that wasn't an open mic. The flyer got 10,000 plays. Not the flyer, I'm sorry, the video. I made like a hype video, 10,000 views. I put it on Eventbrite. I put it in the local newspaper.
Oh, nice.
And 90 people showed up.
Nice. To
a place that only held 70. It was fucking awesome.
That's
I sold
awesome.
out my first show, and my headliner canceled. Couldn't make it. So I had a second backup headliner. Had Zhivago Blaize.
Oh, nice.
Zhivago headlined, and Jerry Garcia was supposed to headline. And it was supposed to be Jerry and Zhivago, which would have been like a double headliner show. That would have been dope. But, I used Jerry, his video, his clips to help sell the show.
Yeah.
I used Zhivago's clips, and I used a couple other people who were like opening acts, their clips. So I put together a trailer, and then that got a ton of views and circulation, and it worked. So I started, for every single thing I produce, I always make a hype video. Ooh. And it normally sells the show really well.
Videos are better than flyers.
Way better, because people could watch them. And like a good example for a template is the trailer for The Kings of Comedy. Watch that one, and you'll be like, okay, this is how a trailer for a comedy show's supposed to work. Because it's quick, it's fast, there's a lot of laughs, and then boom, the graphic at the end, and it's tight, 30 seconds. Or a minute. I think there's a minute one too, and I use that. I even used the music for my first one. It was the Big Timers song, Number One Stunna. And I was like, I got the instrumental, and I'm like, and I just kind of cut the video to the music, and it worked. So I'd say believe in your stuff, and then go and hype it up like it's the best show in the world. Doesn't have to have, Gabriel Iglesias headlining it, but if you sell it like that, these are the funniest people you've ever seen. It'll sell itself. People want to laugh.
I mean, yeah, especially now. Especially in 2022, after 2020 and then being locked up. I mean, a lot of people have been itching out to go places, but I feel like we really need to, like, just, people are finally, like, not as excited as they were before, I feel like. When you're going out, a lot of people aren't as, like, enthusiastic. Some people, when they're coming out, they're like,
That's true. Yeah, I've noticed that, like, the crowds aren't the way they used to be, but I think it'll go back to normal. I feel like the comedy scene is kind of, it's not where it was
before. Yeah, it's kind of right now in LA. It's still trying to figure itself out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like LA right now is in a flux because like no one's really taking control of the scene. No one's like really like pulling us in a direction. It feels like everyone's trying to figure out where everything's at. Because like, I don't know, like beforehand it felt like you knew where to go, and like the trajectory. Now it feels like Thanos came down, snapped everything up.
Totally, yeah. A lot of places closed down. A lot of good rooms closed down, or they switched hands. People left to Austin, to everywhere else, but here and to Vegas, and just now it's the scene's trying to figure itself out. Plus, the Ice House needs to hurry up and reopen already, because so many good comics came out of that system, And really, it's like one of the major rooms in LA that's not the Hollywood crowd. It's, Pasadena, and it's...
That's why I was liking the Pasadena
such a
comedy
good
for so
room.
long. I was loving it because it was the only, like, room out there. There's no other rooms.
That's true.
The only thing else out there is, like, Chatterbox, but that's in, like, Covina.
Yeah, that's in Covina, and I don't go there. But,
Why not?
because the dude gave me weird vibes the first time I went there. He's like, I hate Jeff Garcia. And I was like, I'm not Jeff Garcia, and I understand maybe why you might hate him, but I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I don't know why he just wanted to take a shot at my mentor, like, instead of just being like, hi, how you doing? I'm Steve. You should come to my mic sometime.
Yeah.
And give it kind of like feeling me out. I'm not a dick. Just because Jeff has been mean to people doesn't mean I'm mean to people.
Yeah.
So I haven't went there, and that rubbed me the wrong way. That doesn't mean the door's closed. Maybe I'll go back there sometime later in my career. And he's got good lineups. I can't.
The Chatterbox, and it's a nice, fun place.
It's a supportive place. Like, the people who go there love that place, and I get that. But someday I'm going to get my own open mic back, because I had a great open mic in Downey at the Shuttle Inn, and people loved my mic. And that's how I made so many friends in comedy, as I'd have this fun Wednesday night mic from like 8 to about 11 or 12, and cheap beers. I had free drink tickets every week.
Nice.
And I give them out to comics, and people like coming because it wasn't a one item minimum. I encourage you drink, but I didn't require it.
Yeah.
And then, I made a ton of great friends from there, and that became my little comedy clique.
Yes.
So
what makes a open mic? What makes a good open mic versus a bad open mic?
A good host, and you gotta have some music in between the acts. That helps too. And supportive host, and just consistency, and then don't play favorites. Just play, everybody the same. Maybe you give your favorites like 30 extra seconds, but don't make it obvious.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just give everyone 5 minutes, and if you're bombing, I'll still give you 5. You can still go up there and die for 5. It wasn't a problem. And then I'd support people, just come back, or if I see them, they, you want a beer or have a free beer.
I feel like the host is very important. Like,
it's super important.
Not even just for a mic, but also for a show. I mean,
totally.
Because you have to be able to, like, when you're hosting, you got to, like, warm up the crowd. It's like, hey guys, how y'all doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm the host today. We're gonna have a great lineup, and they got to be able to, like, transition well from one comic to another comic, and that, for some folks, it is not as easy as to make it look to be.
Yeah, it's true. Like, being a good host is an art form in itself, and I'm a very good host. I enjoy hosting, and you gotta be like the audience's friend, and you gotta tell them, like, listen, I'm gonna introduce you to the funniest people I know, and it's not about you. That's what makes a good host. Some hosts are great comics, but awful hosts.
Yeah,
and because they want to make the audience the enemy. And then they also want to shit on every comic.
Ugh,
and then
that's the worst.
Yeah, and then they don't want it to be this fun, interactive show. They want to be awkward and weird and do their own thing. Like, do your job. Your job is to be half funny, half hype man. And introduce every comic like they're the greatest comic ever, and give them that, give them their props, even if they stink or they're rookies, whatever. Don't tell the audience that. Just go up there and gas them up. Let them do their thing. If they're bad, hey, one more time for that person. That guy was talking about hemorrhoids. I got this joke about hemorrhoids. I'm going to launch. I'm going to do one joke, and then I'm going to be like, well, that joke didn't hit. Time to bring up the next comic. This guy's way funnier than I am. Give it up for Blaize Sanchez.
I've seen some hosts who they'll, like, go up there, and they'll be up there for, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah, screw that. No, one joke between 2
yeah.
jokes max, and then in between the feature and the headliner, you don't do any time.
No.
That was great. You guys like that guy? Are you ready for your headliner? Give it up for your headliner, Blaize Sanchez.
Yeah.
You want to fucking make that person like you, a WWF announcer or something. You want to go out there, just hype them up, have them fucking cheering and rocking, and I think that's what makes for a good host.
Energy.
The energy's got to be there, because deadpan hosts are freaking boring, and they suck the energy out of a room before you even go on stage. That's whack.
That's true. I mean, like, now, I think I've noticed more now since after the pandemic is all these slotted mics. I feel like beforehand it was all just sign up in person, and it was all
first come, first serve,
and it was all bucket list.
Oh yeah, buckets are cool.
What do you feel is the best type of, like, open mic?
First come, first serve.
Sign
totally.
up, yeah.
Sign up, get there early, sign up early. buckets, you sit there in the bucket, you end up going 40 minutes later, you got there 20 minutes in advance just so you could go up early, and then you didn't even get pulled, or you spend the whole night and you get pulled at the end. I don't enjoy the bucket, especially if I'm paying money. I'm not going to pay money to sit and wait longer than I have to. They do that at a certain club that I enjoy performing at, but I'm not going to name. But come on, guys, respect the comics. If they get there 20 minutes early, let them go up, do their time, and get the hell out of there. The comics got lives too. We got jobs. We got obligations. The bucket's not my favorite. Slotted is my least favorite.
Really? Why?
Because it's just pay to play is not my favorite way of going about things. If you want them to pay to play, you should sell something to them. Give them a bag of chips. Give them a bottle of water. And say 1 item minimum. And make the items cheap. I remember like going to coffee shop mics and it'd be like, 1 item minimum. I'm like, okay, I'll have a coffee. $7 for a coffee. What kind of scam you trying to pull here? This is a cash grab. You're not a supporter of the arts. You're a con man trying to make money off of comics who are normally struggling people. So I don't like that. Like, if you like comedy, if you want your establishment, give the comics a good space to do their art and don't ask too much from them.
Yeah.
You know, ask for a donation. Don't be like mandatory $6, $7.
Yeah.
You know, that's it's not really fair to the comics.
I mean, I understand like like Hollywood, it's like $5, 5 minutes. I mean, I respect that, and it's slotted. I think that for like, as a comic, I kind of prefer the slotted more because it gives me like, I know I'm going up 4th or I know I'm going up 6th. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not bad.
And that's what I like most about it. And like, I want to set up beforehand. Like, I want to set up, do some shows the next day. So like, I'll sign up for 4 or 5 o'clock at the NoHo fourth wall out here.
That's a good room. Yeah.
It's a great room. I love it. Joe is a really great manager, owner. I mean, he's a host. He's a great host. He's just a great person. I haven't had any like negativity from anyone, anywhere. Like,
Wall's great.
He's a great person. Yeah. Fucking Fourth was fun. The only thing I dislike about the Hollywood one is like they have like 10-minute sets, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to be there for 10 minutes, do a whole 10-minute sets. I want to get 5 and get out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
Because sometimes you got to work that 10-minute sit in, but it's a lot fewer times, especially right now in my career, my comedy.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to make it short and sweet. You got a couple bits you want to work out, and that's it. I get that, and I'm not gonna pay $10 for 10 minutes. I'm not going to pay no dollars for no minutes. Preferably, I go to Third Wheel. It's free. They've got 10-minute mics that are also free.
Yes.
I'll gladly buy multiple White Claws there and support their business because they're awesome. Same with Accidental. Accidental is $5 for 5 minutes, but I go there and give them $5 and I end up doing 10 minutes. I do a keg stand. I smoke like 10 minutes. I have the time of my fucking life for that $5.
Yeah.
So I'll gladly give them $5. And other mics, I don't even go to open mics anymore because I have, plenty of shows to try stuff out on. But I do my little run sometimes, and that run consists of, Accidental and Third Wheel, and sometimes I'll do... Oh, and I have this other show that I kind of treat like an open mic, but don't tell them that.
What show is that?
I'll get you on it. You just got to pull up with me to the show. But, great promoter, great show in downtown LA. I get 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
I do 10 there, and then I go to Accidental. I do another, 10 minutes there, then go to Third Wheel at the end of the night. And I do 3 minutes.
That's the thing is, a lot of comics, they don't realize, especially the new comics, you got to go, 3 mics a night.
Yeah, it helps to do 2 or 3 a night.
Yeah.
You want different looks, you want different audiences, and you want to experiment with the same joke. If you're like, that was a good concept, I need to try it this way, and then you try and it doesn't work, all right, let me try it a third way, and just see if it works, and just keep blasting away at your jokes, because they're like sculptures, man. You got to just sit there and sculpt them. It's okay, this didn't work, all right, take off the nose, put on a different shaped nose, a dick-shaped nose, or something. Let me put on some funny-ass lips. It's just it's like a Mr. Potato Head doll more so than a sculpture. You want to see what accessories work on this.
Yeah. Okay. With the comedy, how important is networking? Because I feel like a lot of folks who go to mics. You want some water or something?
No. Networking's important. It's good to have network equity. That's what Norm Macdonald would talk about, which is having a really strong team behind you, and that's super important. However, in the beginning stages, just be funny. be the funniest guy you can be. Be gracious, be kind, be courteous. And don't be a dick. And that's gonna attract the right people into your life. And then don't be afraid to say no. You know, if you got some other obligation, don't try double dipping. You know, if you make a promise to one person, keep that promise.
Yeah.
Don't be a flake. Don't be a flake, and don't try to like do too much. If you're booked on 3 shows in one night and you don't think you're gonna make it, just don't book yourself. You know, unless you really know you could commit to it.
If I do a show, I'll usually only do like, if I do get booked for a show, I'll usually make sure that's the only show I'm doing that night. If anything, I'll probably try and do an open mic beforehand, just to like run it through, because I always feel like I always got to run my set through once beforehand before I go out and perform in front of people, because it loosens me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
totally.
I have to like, I do like before I go out, like I'll do like a 5-minute in my bathroom, just like boom 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 boom. You know what I mean? Just do like a 5-minute in the shower, just like, you know, just work it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just work it out and just like feel it out, just see how it goes, and like, you know, because I feel like when I just go out there and like there's gonna be a few missteps here and there.
Yeah, I definitely like to work it out in the shower 5 minutes before. No, but yeah, that's important. Rehearsing it is really something that I've kind of like strayed away from, because I felt like I've done it so many times. But at an earlier stage of my career, man, I'd be in the shower rehearsing. I'd be like outside in the parking lot, just literally going line for line with my jokes, and that would help me out a lot. And now I just got my stuff like memorized so deep inside my head, I'm not gonna forget anything. I know how to tell my jokes. I know how I wrote it. So now it's more or less just repetition.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
But rehearsal's important. I'm not gonna say it's not. If you're a young comic listening, freaking rehearse your joke in the shower.
Yeah.
Just imagine there's people laughing, or you're in the mirror at home. It's super important. It's preparation, man.
Yeah. I mean, you take other things, like, how did, like, improv help you with your comedy?
Improv helps you make up funny scenes right on the spot with whatever the audience gives you, or whatever they're wearing, or, you know, whatever physical thing that you could pick up on. You can make a whole story out of that. And that's what I enjoy doing on stage. I like giving people I've never met or talked to an entire backstory. And then weaving that together with another person in the audience. You should hang out with that guy.
It's all that crowd work and just making a story up.
And that's pure improvisation. Or something didn't go right, so I can make up a whole story on why it didn't go right. And that's important. I think it's a thing that comedy purists don't like to admit. But improvisation is like super important and can just totally enhance your set. You don't got to live and die by the sword all the time. You don't got to live and die by the jokes that are on the paper. Yeah. You could take that joke and let it rip into something else. Yeah. I've taken, the best jokes I've ever written were the ones I wrote on stage. I can't believe it. Yeah. I fucking came up with that on the spot. I'm like, get out of here. That's what you like? Not the thing that I've been prepping for 3 months? No, it's that thing that just comes out of you sometimes, and that's that spark of genius, or whatever you want to call it. You're like a lightning rod sometimes, and you get hit, and then it just comes out, and it's the funniest thing ever. And I encourage leaving room for improvisation, because that's a lot of times where the funny comes from. I mean, with comedy, it's like playing football. Football, doing other sports help you with football. Playing basketball, doing track, baseball. It doesn't matter what sport you do. If you play football, it helps you with football. Comedy, if you do acting, if you do improv, if you do even drama, I mean, that helps you, because I feel like I've noticed like a lot of actors, what they have a really good sense of is cadence. Oh, totally. Cadence. That's like important. How to speak. And I feel like a lot of new comics, they don't know how to set their cadence and how to set the rhythm. And like sometimes like writing a joke is kind of like writing a rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have flow. You gotta have boom, boom, boom. You can't just like go straight through. You gotta have, you know, natural pauses in it, natural like flows with it, natural just timing. It's everything. Actors. Great timing. Yeah. I feel like actors have some of the best timing when it comes to how they're speaking. With improv, people who have improv background, I feel them like they have a real great, when something messes up, when they mess up or something happens in the crowd, they're really great at like stumbling and picking themselves back up. Yeah. Kind of like a gymnastics person. Definitely, yeah. You know, you just get back on the horse and you keep going with it. And that's an important thing to take away, is like, if you screw up on stage, man, don't nag yourself and don't nag the audience. just roll with the punches and get back to and start the next joke.
Because the audience doesn't know when you fuck
They
up.
don't know.
They don't know how you fucked up a joke. Just keep going.
They don't know the best way that you told that joke. They just know what you told them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So keep rolling.
Sometimes you fuck up a joke and like you was like the way that you usually say it is way better, but the way that you said it then was just like but they still loved it.
They still liked it. So don't just roll with the punches. That's what I tell people, because gosh, it's the worst when a comic starts nagging themselves. Oh, I suck. Oh, I'm not even funny. What am I doing up here? Like, never say that on stage. Never let them see behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Don't
never say that. Just give yourself the great report afterwards in the back room.
Yeah, give yourself an A or a B or a D or an F, whatever. And go lose your shit off stage.
Yeah.
Don't lose it on stage. I mean, I'm guilty of losing my shit on stage. And it's a bad look for you, and the audience doesn't trust you anymore. They're like, this guy's just a nutcase. He doesn't have his shit together.
What do you mean, like, by the audience trusting you? What is the audience?
They trust that you're going to be their entertainment for the night. And if you come off the rails and you start, like, being negative on stage and just going off and going on some rant or something that has nothing to do with anything, you're going to look bad, and they're not going to have faith in you as an entertainer anymore. They paid money to see the funniest people in the area on this one show. And if you kind of like break character, or you let them see, behind the curtain and see the real person, and you have a breakdown on stage, it's a bad look for you. They don't know if they don't think you're the funniest guy anymore. They just are like, man, that one comic was weird, dude. I was like about to start crying on the stage.
Oh, I've seen that before. I've seen comics. A lot more so at mics than shows where a comic will like lose their shit. I've seen people like, this is my last fucking mic. I'm fucking done with this shit. Fuck all y'all. Like, y'all fucking suck. Blah, blah, blah. And they just like storm off the stage, and everyone's like, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't even know. Like, some folks, like, it's comedy, bro. Relax.
Yeah.
Chill. And I feel like some comics just aren't a fan of comedy.
Maybe that's a big part of it, or they just like certain comics, and they're not a fan of the scene. You really got to become a fan of the scene. You can't just isolate yourself and be like, I'm going to do my comedy and that's it. You got to learn to embrace the craziness that is the comedy scene, and understand you're going to have terrible nights on stage.
Oh, horrible nights.
Horrible nights. They'll leave you second guessing yourself.
Like your life decisions.
God, I need to move to Alabama or something, dude. I need to move far away from this place because maybe I'll be the funniest person in Huntsville. I don't know. LA's too tough.
Not even. LA's pretty, honestly, LA's pretty, like, nice.
It's pretty nice, but I think it's definitely a Shark Tank here. Like, if you're good here, you are good in other places.
That's fair. I mean, it's like cream rises to the top.
That's true. The cream rises to the top.
I mean, like, there's so many comics out here. I mean, even right now, it's like the gym. Because December, January, February, some of the busiest times at open mics. Because that's the New Year's folks. They come out for a few days, few weeks, and then they just start trickling away.
Oh, the New Year's resolution comics.
Yeah.
I'm going to try comedy. They bombed twice. I guess I'll try improv.
I'll do acting next.
I'll do acting, dude. I'm funnier on the stage than making my own shit up.
Yeah,
I get that, yeah.
So, like, that's the thing is, like, some people just got to keep at it. Everyone's, this rule is that folks want to be 25 with 25 million in the bank and 25 million followers. That's not what life's about. And most folks aren't.
Nice, though.
It'd be nice. But that's not what life's about, and that's, like, not success. I say most people aren't successful until their mid-30s, their 40s, you know what I mean? That's when you start becoming really successful. You may have successes when you're young, but being truly successful takes time. And, you have to culture that and mature it. And a lot of folks, they're just, especially now, so many folks are so impatient that they want everything done yesterday that they don't realize that, things take time to progress.
Totally, yeah. It's your body of work over, like, your entire lifetime, because success is fleeting. Like, man, you'll crush a show, and then you won't have another show for, like, a week. And you're like, damn, do I suck? Why am I not getting booked? You see other flyers, you see all these other comics on shows. Why are they getting booked over me? If those people would have saw me at that last show, everybody would be booking me. So you get that feeling, and you just got to be able to, like, look back every year and say, wow, I really came far. I did all these amazing shows. I did all this work. And over the course of your lifetime, you'll keep climbing and getting better, and you'll look back and be like, wow, I've come so far from that basement bringer show, at the freaking Ramada Inn in Hollywood. You know, like, man, it's so crazy to see that I played in front of 1,000 people, versus 15 people with 10 of which I brought. So,
or you be in a room and it's just 3 comics.
That's 3 comics. That was a wise lesson I learned early in my career. I was at some show and there was 3 people in the audience, and I'm like, come on, man. There's 3 people. And he's like, dude, if you can't make those 3 people laugh, you're not a comedian. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to make these 3 people laugh. And I went in there, I did crowd work, I did my jokes, I had them laughing. And I never, gave up,
well, it's like this, like in music. Like, I forget which artist said this, but it was either a rapper or a rock star, I forget. But he said, I don't care if it's from 1 million fans or 1 fan. If it's just in front of that 1 fan, that 1 fan's getting the greatest fucking show of their goddamn fucking life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going out there and I'm gonna fucking jam my fucking heart out. And if it's 1 million fans, I'm still gonna jam my fucking heart out. If it's just that 1 person. That's, even in comedy, you gotta do that. Because, like, you see now, like the Felix rooms at the Chateau, like, people love going to the Felix room because it's so small and, like, comfortable.
I still have never performed there. I've only done the open mic once.
Yeah.
And I killed the open mic.
Yeah, I've stopped going to Chateau.
I'm not going to bring people out to that place and not get paid. I'm sorry.
I just don't like the owner there.
No, apparently nobody likes it. But,
yeah, so I've just out of principle, I strayed away from the Chateau, but I will go to Haha. Even though it's still the same kind of, it's still the same thing basically, it's just the owners are better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cooler place, honestly.
It is a cooler place, and you're local to the Haha, so I get that. I'm still trying to find my local room, but I'm waiting.
Because you live in Ontario, right?
I live in Downey.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, there's no real one room that jumps out to me that I really feel like this is my home base. Outside of Accidental, I love that place, but it's still Hollywood. It's kind of a little drive for me. Some days I just don't want to make the drive.
For a while, Pasadena was like that for me. Like when I first started doing comedy, Pasadena was one of the clubs I was going to the longest.
Nice.
I love that place. Like I said, it's just the community college vibe.
I like that. Yeah, I want Ice House to reopen so I can make that my home base.
Who's in front? Because everyone keeps talking about it, but no one's doing anything about it.
The owners for the Lakers bought the Ice House, the Bus family.
Oh,
so they're remodeling it to be like a state-of-the-art club, and apparently it's supposed to open in February. So fingers crossed, it's gonna open in February, and I'll be rocking that place. Every single week I'll be there. I want to be there on the regular. And I want.
But are they going to keep it like it was before as a comedy, or because if it's the Bus family,
they're going to want to make money. Yeah.
I mean, I don't trust it. I feel like it's going to be a lot worse when it opens. Like one place that I'll always feel home at will be like Tao Comedy.
Okay.
Like that place, like the way Bobby runs it, like the air and energy there. It's always fun there.
That's good.
I will say this. It's definitely the Namaste of comedy. It's the yoga studio of comedy. That's what it's term. You know what I mean? It's more like, we're going to go out there, we're going to do like Namaste and doing yoga poses and meditate. That's kind of like what it is out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to check it out. I've heard of it, but I've never been.
It's good. Parking's a bitch there, but.
Oh, okay. I don't like
that. It's LA.
Yeah.
It's in Koreatown.
Okay.
It's like I don't say more like the north side. No, it's more like the south. It's right down the heart of Koreatown, but it's right there. It's really nice, cool studio. Bobby this year they just bought the building right next to them, and so it's just getting bigger and bigger. So I love her comedy. I love her, who she is. Like the thing is, I love about it is just like meeting all the people. Meeting all the different types of people, and that's what I love about the networking. Even like Giant Summers, who runs Hollywood and used to own the Pasadena before all the whole thing. Like she's a great person. Her energy, like seeing her explode is like really crazy to me. Just because like when I first met her, I thought she was just a club owner. Yeah. And then I found out she was doing comedy too, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I found out how good she was doing, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's really just like.
Yeah. It's awesome to see, and I just want to find my groove in comedy, and I'm still looking for it. So I'm sure there's going to be a room someday that opens up, or where I just fit seamlessly in there. And
why don't you open up your one? Because I know what's his name, Ben's out there all the time, and he's been trying to open up his own spot.
Really? Yeah, he's really funny. I just need to find my own spot. I think I don't have the energy right now to invest in a comedy club, or to invest into like running even my own open mic. But somewhere down the line, I'll get back into it.
Because I tried to open up my own mic, and that's hard.
It's hard.
It takes because it's commitment. It's commitment. It's time consuming. I mean, when you don't want to be there, you gotta be there.
You gotta be there.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I talked to other people who run Hope mics and like the big chili mic, which is also a good one.
Oh yeah,
and
those guys.
Yeah, we were talking about with Jonathan. I was talking with him, and he's like, yeah, big things just burn out.
Yeah.
Being a host, because you got to be there. Sometimes you just want to fucking chill, man. Sometimes you just want to stay home and fucking watch Netflix, and that's okay. But when you're the guy, you got to be there. Because like I try to run it, and then also promoting it. Because I was doing it in the Pasadena at the time at the all the way to the top of Altadena.
Oh wow.
And I was doing an amphitheater. I had like a speaker and everything. But it's
cool.
hard. It's hard just because just getting people there is the hard part.
Yeah, it's tough. And like some mics, like you said, they burn out. Like. One of my favorite mics was the Blaize Bar, hosted by Eric Escobar, and I love Eric. He's a great host.
Oh yeah.
But Eric's been on the road lately, and
he's doing great.
He's crushing it. He's just a killer, and
he's been in like Las Vegas the last few.
Vegas. He's in Michigan. The guy's in Seattle. He's all over the place. Hilarious stand-up guy, and but since he's been gone, it's been rotating hosts, and some hosts can't make it, so it gets canceled, and as far as like a great place to do comedy, it's definitely Blaize Bar, but hopefully somebody will pick up the mantle. I mean, I'm down to do it. I might, now that my Wednesdays are free, I'm going to talk to him and maybe I'll host the Blaize mic.
Yeah.
Because I like the establishment. I like the vibe. I love the location. Plenty of parking. Gardena.
Yeah. We
got a big parking lot in the back we could blaze it up at.
Nice.
And good. We could do it outdoors or we could do it indoors. It's got a huge space indoors. So that's another mic I highly recommend. It's the Blaize Bar mic. Super supportive, good people, good comics. Check it out. I'll plug that because I love Eric, and
Eric's a cool guy.
He's one of those comics who gave me the vouch, and told other people like, yeah, Ryan can headline, and he's gotten me some good gigs,
nice.
And I definitely value his friendship and knowledge, because we, like, early in my comedy career, we did shows together. I was like the opener, you'd be like the feature, the headliner.
Nice.
And I show him flyers like from back then. He's like, wow, you're on that show? I was like, yeah, Slide Bar, Fullerton, and I'm also like an ex-Disney Jungle Cruise captain. So, and he's like a big Disney fan, and that was my first like foray into stand-up, was doing the Jungle Cruise. So
okay. How do you go from Jungle Cruise to going to law school?
Man, that was college, though. That's my college job. Yeah, I went to college and finished and worked in the film industry for like 10 years. And then I was like, well, I'm kind of bored. Let me try law school so I could be like an entertainment lawyer. And that just didn't work out. I had some like trouble in my life at the time. It prevented me from staying focused. I was getting good grades, but I screwed up one class. I got kicked out of school for that. And and I'm like, you know what? I miss comedy, dude. I'm going to do comedy, but I'm going to approach it the same way I did law school. And the same way I did my professional career in the film industry. I'm not going to be like shy about it. I'm going to be outgoing. I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to shake people's hands. I'm going to thank them for the show, and I'm going to do my part to like promote myself more and to build a network. Because at the beginning in comedy, man, I'd show up with my friends and I'd leave right after my set. Yeah. Or I'd watch the end of the show, but I didn't know how to, I was like, maybe I was just reserved, or I didn't know how to be a schmoozer. But after working on set in Hollywood and like having to shake 100 people's hands and talk to all these people, and then send all these professional emails, I just took a new approach, man. I started meeting everybody, talking to everybody. If I met a booker, I'll send them a professional email. Love to be on your show. Here's my tape. My name, my availabilities, and on Mondays, that's normally how I start my week. I send out like 10 or 20 different kind of booking emails to try to get booked. Oh, and that shit works.
Because remember this, I always said this, closed mouth don't get fed.
Exactly.
If you don't ask to be on shows, you won't be put on a damn show.
That's true.
And you know what? Don't be afraid. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm a loser if I do that. No, you ain't no fucking loser. It means you're a goddamn dog who needs to goddamn eat.
Exactly. You need to be aggressive, bro. You need to be a fucking shark. You can't stop swimming. You're going to drown, homie.
We stay swimming.
Yeah, we blazing sharks. Stay blazing, we stay swimming and hunting.
Amen. It's just about hustling. I talk about that with a lot of my interviewees. Is just about you gotta go out there. You gotta, like, even me, I go out there and I ask people, it's like, can you be in my shows? You can't be afraid to ask people to be on shows if this person's too big or this person. no one knows this person. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about like, do I like this person?
Yeah.
I like this person. Do I respect this person? I respect this person. I want them on my show.
Yeah,
you know what
totally.
Because like, someone like you who's doing really great, someone like me could be intimidated to ask, for advice, for you to come on my show, for you to do it. You know what I mean? And a lot of folks are, hesitant because people, they want to put the best foot forward. And they will expect you. I hate how folks expect others to come to them and give them their opportunity. Don't expect an opportunity to come to you. You can't expect things to be given to you.
You got to go out and get it. You got to take it. And even if it blows up in your face, it's
a learning opportunity.
It's a learning opportunity. So don't. Yeah, it's part of it too. Sometimes you bite off more than you can chew.
That's
you
okay.
Promote yourself as this thing, and maybe you're not ready to headline. Maybe you're just a feature act right now.
That's okay.
But you gotta go for it, man. You gotta reach and go for it. And if you don't get booked again, then whatever. Maybe you circle back to them in a couple years when you are ready. And like this weekend, I went on a cruise ship, and I met with the headliners there, and I watched their show, and they were performing in front of, probably 500 plus people in a giant theater. There's little kids, there's old people, and I watched their act, and it's like family friendly. It's funny, it's silly, it's goofy, it's physical, and then I look at myself, and I'm like, am I ready for that? Am I there yet? And can I do 45 minutes, high energy, without talking about my dick? And the answer is no. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, listen, guys, I'm going to get it together and give me your... No, they have their contact. They were friends. Mm-hmm. I'm not ready to ask for their agent's number and to submit to them.
How hard is it to do a clean set? Because I know for myself
I
it can
do
be...
clean, but I can't do clean like that for 45 minutes like what they did, like really bringing people in and being high energy and super clean and something that's friendly for everybody. Like, a lot of my jokes require, like, knowledge of bad things. So, I think the stuff that I'm good at is, like, telling my life story, talking about growing up with immigrant parents, my perspective on that, and I have to figure out how to make that a full 45-minute show where I can do all my impersonations, talk about my family, talk about my life, without having to, use any foul language, and also do the crowd work. But I gotta do that, a couple hundred times, maybe 100 times before I feel like this product is ready to go onto a cruise ship. Yeah. Because like I said, I leave myself a lot of room to improvise, and sometimes the improvisation jokes are nasty jokes. I see a guy with fat fingers in the audience, I'm going to talk about finger blasting. It's just fucked up. It's where my mind goes. My mind goes to the gutter sometimes. So I need to now train myself to not always reach for the immediate punch. Like, sometimes you got to find a way to, like, lure them in and say something funny without it being so obvious. Like, you got a big nose. I bet you'd be hitting the clit like, rubbing it with your big nose, Or you got weird ears, I bet you could, all right, just stupid crap like that. If you go for the bottom shelf, it's not going to take you as far as if you go for, like, the top shelf, the thing that's harder to reach. The harder thing to reach is worth it in the end. Mm-hmm. So
I've noticed, because I feel like clean comics are better writers than people who are just willy-nilly it. Because you have to be more precise in your writing. You have to be more, you have to figure out how to, like, be dirty while clean. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of good clean comics. And, it's hard. I feel like it would take me at least 3 years to do a clean comic set. You know what I mean? Like, to make a good one. Like, because I feel like my process, I'll just say fuck. Like, randomly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like, it'll just come out. Like,
I got 20 minutes clean, but, man, I don't got 45 clean to save my life.
I probably don't even got 5.
I think I have it. I just haven't used it. So that's the thing. If you want to be clean, you gotta be willing to die on stage on these clean jokes, because you can always say pussy or fart or jizz. Gotta hit in the face with the load, and people are gonna laugh. And come in my eye. There's shit that's gonna make people laugh because it. It's just silly and it works. But the clean stuff is the stuff that they're like, oh wow, how am I gonna make this audience laugh about the sweater that my grandmother knitted me that was super itchy,
Yeah. Well, that's what I love about, like, the blue collar tour,
Blue Comedy
Holocaust.
I wish it was a blue comedy tour.
But yeah, but like them, because they put themselves as like a clean comedy set, and you know that's what's so great about them is it's like it's so hard. Like people have made, oh, that's just redneck white jokes. I'm like, yeah, but like think deeper into like how great the jokes are, like how hard it is to make these jokes. I mean, even like you might be a redneck, like his jokes, you can put so many different things in that after that, but he does it so well clean that like it's even better. And then you just add a little simple fuck joke. You know what I mean?
And it's timeless. Like a clean joke will last longer than a dirty joke. You know, like people can go back and watch it years later. They can share it with their kids. They can share it with their grandma. Mm-hmm. It's gonna travel farther than a dirty joke. Like I mean, I got a dirty, cleanish, dirty joke right now that's like really doing well on Instagram.
Yes.
And because it's like a Star Wars joke, but it's also a joke for people who know Spanish. So, and you're like, if you know that word, you're like, oh, you're making the association. You're like, that's freaking funny. You don't necessarily need to know I mean, I say what the word means at the end of the joke, but you don't. If you know what it means already, then you can make the connection.
Yeah, you'll jump ahead.
You'll jump ahead. You know what's funny about the joke, and then I explain it. And then, then it either loses people or they like it even more.
I feel that.
I have to curse to explain it. But I've been doing it lately by not cursing, and it works just as fine.
I feel like if you do it without cursing, I feel it's a little bit like funner because like the audience gets it. Like you want to curse, but you're not cursing.
Yeah, and this is for you since you live here. I do a show at an old folks' home, like here in Glendale. Not too far away from this place, once a month. If you want to try doing clean humor in front of the elderly.
I'm down.
Okay, I'll call you for the next one.
When is it usually? Like a weekday or weekend?
It's weekdays at like 2 p.m.
What days? Like
it'll be like sometimes it's Fridays, sometimes it's like Wednesdays. But
those are the two worst days.
No, but sometimes it's Tuesdays.
If it's a Tuesday or Thursday, I can make it.
I'll hit you up
but if it's like a Wednesday, because I work, those are the 2 days at 2 o'clock I work.
Wednesdays, Fridays. Okay, so if I get hit up, I'll let you do that show.
Yeah.
I brought other young comics to do it who I thought could play clean, and they've all played clean, and we mostly bomb, but
yeah.
But if you can make those old folks laugh with clean jokes, then you got.
I just can't tell my weed jokes in front of them.
Yeah, not really. Like drugs and sex, they don't like it too much, but they like the slice of life jokes that where you're talking about your life experiences and growing up and your family and stuff. They love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. It's like, can't say that joke. Can't say that joke. Can't say. I was just like,
what can I say?
It's just like I'm gonna have to change that joke. I'm gonna have to change that joke.
It forces you to think out of the box, and it's great to perform in front of the old folks because they're just happy to have somebody who wants to talk to them.
Because I'm thinking about it. Even my closers, I only have 2 closers right now. Mm-hmm. One of them's about abortion. And the other one is about a butt plug. So
okay, well, I don't know.
I don't think those will work.
One, but they use butt plugs for a different reason.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, the butt plug one might not work. But the thing is, it's a COVID butt plug joke.
Oh, okay.
So but I think the butt plug won't work because I don't think butt plugs is clean.
Nah, I mean a butt plug. Well, they're like, "What's that?" You know,
yeah.
I got. You know.
I think that would be hard.
They wear diapers. They don't need butt plugs.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
Just let that shit fly.
If anything, I could probably talk about the massage stuff.
The massage stuff for sure.
Massage stuff.
Definitely.
Could talk. Some of it, like, I'm just thinking about it now.
You start thinking about it. You start saying, like, screw my set. I'm just going to talk to these people and try to find something funny.
It's just funny. I'm just like, it's fun. It's kind of like, now it energizes me because, like, you got to think about these different rooms. Like I always say, like, doing a room in West Hollywood versus East LA. Two different rooms. Like, in West Hollywood, they're a little bit more woke.
Totally.
Whereas in East Hollywood, East LA, you can shit on the wokeness a lot.
Oh, totally. East LA, that's my wheelhouse, dude. I freaking love those crowds. They love me because I'm that crazy white boy who knows Spanish, and I love it, and I embrace it, and that's who I am, really. Like, because I grew up in Downey, so I'm that crazy güero, dude. I'm that fucking güero culero, dude. So I embrace that. And they love it. They appreciate me for it. So I feel like that's great. But it's kind of like put me into a box. And now I'm trying to break out of the box and be able to do crowds. Like I'm doing a tour in the Midwest next month with Andre Mulligan. We're doing Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois.
Nice.
And I got to find a way to relate to these people who probably have not met a whole lot of Hispanic people. Or who maybe have never met somebody like myself, who's from Serbia. So... I don't know what they're
You
going
may
to
have
think
some
of me.
prejudgmental thoughts
Yeah,
about
like
you.
they might look at me like, who's this guy? He's from LA. Might be some kind of woke hipster. I don't know if I like him. He's, so I've got to find.
He's got
a way.
nice hair.
Yeah, he's got nice hair. He must be some kind of hippie or some kind of whatever LGBT dude. And I don't know what they're gonna think about me, but that's not my job. My job is to make them laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever their presuppositions are, I don't care. I'm
You
here
gotta
to crack you. I'm here to crack you, and I'll find some common ground and make you laugh. That's my job.
I love it. Hey, we're going to be here for about an hour and a half now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It's a great time. I really enjoyed you having on the show. Tell the people where they can find you, where they can reach you, any upcoming shows that you'd like to promote.
Oh, gladly. Ryan.comedian on Instagram. And you could catch me at your local comedy club. I'll be in the Midwest next month with Andre in
December
22nd, Naugatuck, Michigan. And then 23rd, Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. And I think we're going to do Chicago on the 20th, but we still don't have a venue. Still waiting to hear back from them. Where else am I? I'm all over the place. I'll be at the Bellflower, the stand-up comedy club tomorrow, day before Thanksgiving. And I'm all over the place. So follow me for my clips. Ryan Has No Talent on Instagram. Because I heard a comic say that when I was doing stand-up once. I was like, oh, Ryan's got no talent? Okay. I'll make you famous.
Bitch.
Bitch. Yeah. So where else am I? I'm not on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. It's hard to find me
TikTok.
because I'm Ryan the Comedian. TikTok, I'm also... I am Ryan.comedian on TikTok, I think. I got TikTok. I stink at making TikToks, but I'm working on it.
He's got it.
I'm on it, man. And then where else can you find me? I'm opening up for Jeff Garcia all the time, so follow Jeff, and you'll see me on all his shows. And, yeah, I'm easy to find. Get at me, dog.
Get at us. How to make you feel. Take care, y'all.
Yo,